Welcome back to Coin Value Pro. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1971 Lincoln penny. A simple penny that, under the right conditions, can be worth life-changing money. Visual. The host switches to images and zoomed-in footage of the 1971 penny. The minting process at the Denver Mint is shown briefly. Before we get into the details of what makes the 1971 penny so valuable, let's take a quick trip back to 1971. The Lincoln cent, featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, was first introduced in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. In 1971, these pennies were struck at three primary locations: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, San Francisco, S Mint Mark, and Denver, D Mint Mark. Today, we'll focus on the 1971 penny minted in Denver, Colorado. The screen shows a split view with the host on one side and close-up shots of different 1971 pennies. Key points are highlighted on the screen. So, what makes this particular penny worth more than just 1 cent? The value of the 1971 penny comes down to three main factors: condition, errors, and rarity. The condition of the penny plays a huge role in its value. Pennies that are graded in mint state (MS) by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) can fetch impressive prices. MS 65, MS 66, and especially MS 67 grades are where you'll see the big money coming in. Visual. A high-grade 1971 penny is displayed, along with a grading scale from MS60 to MS-70. An MS67 graded 1971 penny, for example, is extremely rare and can command prices over $1,000 in the current market. But the real jackpot comes with rare mint errors. One of the most valuable aspects of the 1971 penny is the possibility of striking errors. Double dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks are some of the errors that collectors pay big bucks for. Visual. A penny with a visible double die error is shown, with arrows pointing out the doubling on the lettering and Lincoln's profile. A 1971 double die penny could sell for thousands depending on the severity of the error. A slide showing a picture of the record-breaking 1971 penny and a price tag graphic with $72,600 in bold letters. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, the 1971 Lincoln penny that sold for an unbelievable $72,600. Why did it sell for so much? Well, this particular coin was graded MS67 by PCGS, and it had almost no visible flaws. The rarity of this coin, combined with its nearly perfect condition, made it highly desirable to collectors. A coin auction scene showing an auctioneer raising a hammer as the bid climbs higher. In 2019, a lucky collector found themselves holding onto one of these gems, and it went to auction, selling for that eye-popping price. Visual. The host demonstrates how to examine a penny under a magnifying glass, pointing to key areas of the coin. Alright, so now that you know these pennies can be worth big money, how do you find out if your 1971 penny is valuable? Here are a few things to look for. Close-up of a shiny penny with minimal scratches. First, check the condition of your coin. A penny in pristine, uncirculated condition will stand out. If it looks like it was just minted yesterday, that's a good sign. A penny with a visible double die error. Next, you want to look for any errors on the coin. Double die obverse, where parts of the coin's design appear doubled, are some of the most valuable types of errors. An animation zooming into the D mint mark on the penny. Pay close attention to the mint mark. If it appears to be repunched or looks unusual, it could be a rare variation. A chart showing recent sales of 1971 pennies, ranging from a few dollars to tens of thousands. So, what's the current market value of the 1971 penny? It really depends on the condition and any potential errors. Most circulated 1971D pennies will only be worth face value, maybe a few cents more to collectors. But if you find one in top condition, say MS65 or higher, you're looking at anywhere from $50 to several $100s. Error coins, especially those with significant double dies or other unique features, can fetch thousands. And if you're lucky enough to find an MS67 1971D penny, you might just be sitting on a potential auction piece worth tens of thousands. So there you have it. The 1971D Lincoln penny is a piece of American history that could be hiding a small fortune. Remember to check your change carefully. That ordinary penny could be worth more than you ever imagined. Video. You wouldn't believe it, but there's a 1967 Lincoln penny out there that's worth an astonishing $84,600. That's right, a simple penny that could make you rich. But how? And why? Stick around, and I'll give you all the details on what makes this 1967 Lincoln penny so special, and how you could have one sitting right in your pocket right now. Before we dive into the juicy details of why some 1967 pennies are so valuable, let's first talk a little bit about this particular coin. The 1967 Lincoln penny, or more formally known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, was part of the U.S. Mint standard issue. Millions of these were struck in 1967, making it seem like just another common penny. But here's where things get interesting. In 1967, the U.S. Mint decided not to place mint marks on coins. You might be asking, why no mint marks? Well, between 1965 and 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily stopped using mint marks on coins to discourage coin hoarding. People were collecting them like crazy, and it was messing with the circulation of coins. So, whether your 1967 penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it won't have a mint mark. So how does a penny that was minted in such large quantities, without a mint mark, become worth thousands of dollars? Enter the world of coin errors and rare conditions. When it comes to valuable coins, it's all about the small details. Errors, minting mistakes, and exceptional condition can make a massive difference. Now, let's talk about the type of errors that can skyrocket the value of a 1967 Lincoln penny. Here are the key ones to look out for. Die errors. These are caused by problems in the minting process, and they can make coins very valuable. Look for double die errors, where the design is accidentally struck twice, causing a ghosted or blurry appearance. If you spot a doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering, you might have hit the jackpot. Off-center strikes. If your 1967 penny looks like it was struck off-center, where part of the design is missing or appears shifted, that's another potential goldmine. These off-center strikes can increase the value significantly. Clipped planchet. A clipped planchet is when the coin wasn't cut properly and has a section missing. Believe it or not, these missed strikes are highly collectible. Uncirculated condition, MS67 or higher. Finally, one of the biggest factors that can increase the value of a penny is its condition. If your 1967 Lincoln penny is in near perfect condition, also known as mint state, MS67 or higher, then you're looking at big money. At an auction, a pristine example of this penny sold for a whopping $84,600. Alright, so you've got some 1967 pennies lying around, and now you're wondering if you've hit the jackpot. First things first, you need to examine the coin carefully for any of those mint errors I just mentioned. Check the coin's details. Look for any unusual features, especially around the date, Lincoln's bust, or the edges. If it seems off-center, shows doubling, or has a clipped edge, you may be on to something. You'll also want to check the condition of the coin. If it looks uncirculated and almost brand new, it could be worth sending to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will give your coin a grade based on its condition, and if you get a high grade, That's where the real value comes in. The higher the grade, the higher the price. As of today, the highest sale of a 1967 penny was at $84,600 for a mint state MS-67 coin with perfect features and no mint mark, sold at a major auction. But even if your penny isn't in perfect condition, you could still get a few hundred or even a few $1,000s for it depending on the rarity of the error or the quality. Right now, in 2024, coin collectors are always on the lookout for rare and high-quality coins. Online auction sites, coin dealers, and even private collectors are willing to pay a premium for a 1967 penny if it's in excellent condition or has unique mint errors. While not every penny will fetch $84,600, many could still bring in hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the factors we discussed. So how can you turn your valuable penny into cash? Here are the steps. Get your coin graded. If you think your penny is in great condition or has a rare error, send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once graded, you'll have a better idea of its value. List it on auction sites. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections are great platforms to sell rare coins. Make sure to take clear photos and provide all the relevant details about its condition and any errors. Consult with a coin dealer. If you're unsure about your coin's value, take it to a reputable coin dealer for a professional opinion. If your 1967 penny is the one, you could be looking at a payday of up to $84,600 or more. So, check those coin jars and drawers. You never know what kind of treasure you might find. We've got something special for all you coin collectors, history buffs, and anyone who loves hearing about the value of rare coins. We're talking about the 1978 D mint mark Lincoln penny, and why one of these little coins recently fetched an incredible $64,600 at auction. That's right, this penny may look ordinary, but it could be worth a small fortune. Now, you're probably wondering, how can a penny, something that most people wouldn't even bother picking up off the ground, be worth over $60,000? Well, today, we'll break it all down, from the history behind the 1978 D Lincoln penny to what makes it valuable, and most importantly, how you can spot if you've got one of these rare pennies in your collection. Let's first talk a little bit about the history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over time, the design has seen a few changes, but the basic format has stayed pretty consistent. By the late 1970s, these pennies were made mostly of copper, and in 1978, the Denver Mint produced millions of these coins, specifically the ones with a small d under the year, signifying it was minted in Denver. So if millions of these were made, why is a 1978 D Lincoln penny selling for tens of thousands of dollars? This is where the magic happens. Not all pennies are created equal, and collectors know that certain factors can make a coin much more valuable than others. The key things to look for are condition, rarity, and errors. Let's dive into each one. First and foremost, the condition of a coin plays a huge role in its value. The term mint state, or MS, refers to coins that have never been circulated, meaning they haven't been worn down by use. The higher the MS grade, the closer the coin is to being in perfect condition. Coins graded MS-65 or higher are especially sought after. If a 1978 D penny has an MS-67 grade, it's considered nearly flawless, and that's the kind of coin that collectors will pay big bucks for. While millions of these pennies were produced, coins with high MS grades are much rarer because most pennies get circulated, scratched, or worn down over time. Finding a 1978 D Lincoln penny in pristine condition is like finding a needle in a haystack, and it's this rarity that helps drive up the price. Coin errors can make a huge difference. Things like off-center strikes, double dies, or issues with the mint mark can all make a coin more valuable. If your 1978 penny has a visible error, that's something collectors are definitely willing to pay for. Now let's talk about how one of these pennies recently sold for over $64,000. The penny in question was in immaculate condition, with an MS-67 grade. Combine that high-grade condition with its rarity, and you've got yourself a very valuable coin. That auction blew away expectations, setting the current market value at $64,600 for a similar coin. Let's break down what this MS grading really means. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin straight from the mint. Anything over MS-65 is considered in nearly perfect condition, and it's these coins that often attract the highest prices at auctions. Coins with grades MS-67 or higher are so rare that they can easily go for tens of thousands of dollars. But that doesn't mean that only MS-67 pennies are valuable. Even if you have a lower graded penny, it can still be worth quite a bit depending on its condition and rarity. So don't rush to judgment just yet. Your penny might be worth more than you think. So how can you tell if your 1978 penny is worth thousands? Here are some quick steps to help you figure it out. Make sure your penny has the 1978 date with a small D mint mark under the year. This means it was produced at the Denver Mint. Is your penny shiny and free from scratches? The better the condition, the more likely it is to be valuable. If it looks like it was freshly minted, you might be in luck. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual features can increase the coin's value dramatically. For the most accurate estimate of your coin's value, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll give you a certified grade, which can help in determining its market value. Even if your penny doesn't hit the $64,000 mark, it can still be worth something. Pennies from the 1970s, particularly those in great condition, can fetch anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s depending on their grade. It's always worth checking your collection, or even the pennies in your pocket change. You never know what treasure you might find. So, there you have it. The 1978 Lincoln penny might be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. With the right combination of condition, rarity, and maybe even an error or two, these pennies can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. If you think you've got one of these valuable coins, take a close look and consider getting it graded. You could be sitting on a hidden fortune. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more awesome coin collecting tips, and let us know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare penny. Until next time, happy hunting!